Cool. All right, we're live. Hello, everybody. Nobody's tuned in, but they'll be here soon enough. My name's Reed. I'm one of the former divers from this past summer. We're doing a little live session today. I'll be talking with Christine Kim, just kind of running through our time at dive, kind of hanging out, just talking in general about why dive, the whole experience. And once Christine gets on here, we'll get right to it. So yeah, it'll be an exciting little 15 to 20 minute conversation. Running down. Hello, Blair. I see you've joined. I'll wave to you. Lovely. Let's see. All right, where's Christine? Let me try to get her on here. I've really done one of these before, so I'm not really sure what the deal is. Go live with. Let's do Christine. Lovely. Now, cool. Thanks, Blair. Yeah, I do seem really intelligent. Christine.
Hey.
Hello. How are you?
Figure out how to. 1 second.
Yeah, no, I've never really done this before, so whole new experience in general.
Yeah, me too. This is really close up. I'm trying to
Yeah, I did kind of figure out a whole setup. That's usually not the way I sit.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Cool. How you been?
I'm good. Busy week, but it's finally over. What about you?
Yeah, same here. It's been a bit of a grind. Happy to be back at school, but yeah, it's been a long few weeks. We didn't have a fall break this year, so it's just been railed with classes and midterms and everything. But finally hitting a little bit of a break point. Halloween coming up, so excited all around.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even realize it was coming up so soon.
Yeah, exactly. But good all around. So I guess we'll get into this. If you want to start with a little introduction about yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Christine, as you know, and I'm a junior at Boston College. I'm studying history and minoring in marketing. And some things I'm involved in on campus. I'm on the cheerleading team, and I'm on Women in Business, and I also work in the Academic Advising Center. Anything else? Oh, which dive cohort? Last summer, Reed and I were both in the first dive virtual cohort, which was exciting. And yeah, I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri.
Cool. Good to hear. Yeah, I didn't know a lot about that, but good to know now. From my end, Reed Burke, senior at the University of Richmond, double majoring in French and business administration, concentrating in management, entrepreneurship. Bit of a mouthful, but a lot of fun classes there. Around campus, involved with a couple fraternities. One, the business fraternity, Delta Sigma Pi. Been a great experience there. All in all, let's see what else we're going through. Yeah, I'm from kind of all over the place. I usually do now say I'm just from Chicago. As of late, moved to South Carolina, so a lot going on over the past summer, especially with dive. I was on the road a lot with the internship, but yeah, back at school now and excited just to be home in school. I wasn't expecting that with COVID, but it's good.
Yeah, so you guys are in person right now?
Yeah, it's kind of like a hybrid system. I have about half my classes on Zoom, and then the rest meet in person, masks on, obviously, and socially distanced. But it's working. Richmond's done a really good job of it. They've been putting in a lot of work with guidelines and also kicking students off who mess up in any way, shape, or form. They also have these pods set up for quarantining, so they've really put in the work to make sure we can enjoy at least some semblance of normal for once.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same at BC too. So yeah, I'm glad that we're still here and we're able to be on campus.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. We're lucky for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess getting into this for real, when was the first time you really heard about dive, or I guess what really pushed you towards it?
Yeah, good question. So for me, I originally had plans to be in New York this past summer, and when my plans changed back around I think late April, early May, I actually saw something about dive in our This Week in CSOM, which is the business newsletter they send out to all the kids in the business school or minors, about dive, and it actually was familiar to me because I saw something about it earlier in the semester about like their study abroad programs in South Africa.
Right.
And it sounded really cool at the time, but like I didn't really know what my plans were, so I didn't really look into it. But when I saw it back in May, sounded familiar, seemed really cool still. So I recognized the ambassador too at my school, and I reached out that way. Really liked what I heard. And I got connected with Elspeth actually, and talked to her and like loved everything she had to say about it, and just ended up applying and like talking to more people, and it just really worked out. That's kind of how I heard about it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I think I was the same boat. I was originally supposed to be doing like a sales internship up in Boston, and obviously COVID got that canceled, and then stressful few months trying to figure something last minute, and then luckily got like a random Richmond email being like, hey, check out this cool opportunity with diiVe, with like a virtual consulting. And I was like, sounds cool, I need something, might as well. And then applied and got connected with Elspeth, and we really hit it off in the interview. With my recent classes, like right before, all kind of based around like innovation and design thinking, like really connected with what the whole program with diiVe was based around for that. So really kicked it off, and then luckily got it, and then had a blast, and was really, really fun kind of getting involved with that. But was really completely by chance, and I'm happy it worked out that way.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a common theme I've noticed. But yeah, it did really work out, and super happy with my experience. So.
Yeah, exactly. So good stuff all around. So I guess, yeah, moving on, well then, coming into the program, obviously, with both of us kind of being in that situation of weren't really expecting to be a part of this program initially, and then coming right up to it, what were your first thoughts of approaching that first week?
Yeah, I think we had like the course like readings and stuff. I honestly, like at first when I got that, I was like, eh. But then I started it, and I actually thought it was really interesting. It was definitely like more work than I anticipated, but like I thought it provided a really good like base knowledge of everything going into the program. And I don't know, like I really liked learning about like the fourth industrial revolution and just things I've never heard of before in my classes at school. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then we did our orientation, which was like cool getting to meet everyone over Zoom. And then yeah, and like the first week, I really liked the first week. Honestly, it was definitely intense, like with the 2 sessions a day.
Yeah, it was tiring.
Yeah, sure. I know. But I don't know, I really liked it. It was a good way to like meet everyone, because once you broke off into our teams, you really only like saw your team super often. So I honestly I don't really like breakout rooms in general, but like for diiVe, it was fine. Like I actually liked it because I felt like they were well structured, and I actually like really felt like I built relationship with people, which was cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny looking at breakout rooms now with class. They're my least favorite thing, but with diiVe, it was fun, like getting to know people, and obviously just like new experiences, new people. It was definitely a lot better with diiVe now.
Yes. Yeah, what about you? What were your thoughts like coming in?
I mean, yes, same with you getting that initial course packet. I was like, like this doesn't seem appealing now.
Yeah.
But like obviously, honestly, yeah, like the fourth industrial revolution stuff, all those articles are really like cool thought processes and ideas that never really kind of explored on my own time. So it's kind of cool checking that stuff out. And then as we got closer, I was obviously postponing some of that work, but then luckily like got really into it, and it was cool. And yeah, I really liked the whole setup of that first like pre-week of kind of teaching and like the class structure to kind of prepare us for the kind of work we're going to be doing, and also just kind of general career advice for future, which I think was great with like the building your own brand and those other topics. It was really pretty helpful. But yeah, it was a great experience just getting to know everyone. Like I think I was probably paired up with Patrick about half the time in those breakout rooms, which was really fun. So like I got to know Patrick well.
Yeah.
Definitely had with a few other people, and it was a good experience, a lot of fun. Pushes you to kind of get used to working with other people, but it was fun. I really kind of liked that initial setup. Didn't really know what to expect, but it turned out to be really fun that first few weeks.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, definitely. Highlights definitely from the experience. What were like some of your favorite parts that you loved or had the most fun with?
I really like what you said before about like all the workshops, like career building skills and like exercises. I really like and appreciated all of those. Also, like all the speakers they brought in during the first week was really cool. Like I really liked learning from them. And yeah, like the purpose and like what's your purpose, like building your personal brand. I thought that stuff was all very valuable, like even after the program. Just like having those hours to like actually sit and like think about like what do I value and like what do I really like and what do I want to do. Honestly, I think that was really helpful in like figuring out like what I want to do post grad, which is awesome.
100%.
And then with like the consulting internship in general, like I've been interested in consulting for a while, so it's really cool to like actually get hands-on experience. And I don't know about you, but I came in thinking like I didn't know like what role we'd be doing in the internship. I kind of thought it'd be more of like an analyst position in a way.
Yeah.
And then like I was surprised that we each had our own role, which I really liked because I felt like it gave me a lot more responsibility and experience. Like I was a client manager for my team, so like actually having to reach out to the client myself, I was like not expecting that. But it was really good experience. Like I'm glad I was able to do that and like actually play a big role in like the end and just throughout.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely think one of the biggest things with that whole like responsibility aspect of kind of taking your own part in the job and the team and kind of having to hold yourself accountable. Because I was the product development manager for my team, so I was in charge of like the design and ideation phases and held a couple of meetings where like I had to be in charge. And obviously at times I wasn't really in the mood to be leading, but it kind of pushed me to help like kind of take over and like take on a new position that I'm not usually used to. And it was a lot of fun. Like I think those few meetings where I was leading was like a lot of fun, kind of putting my own interest and passion into the work we were doing. Because it was pretty much from the courses that I'd taken right before diiVe were focused on design thinking. And then it was like immediate implementation of that. So it was the first time I've ever been able to really take that real work course stuff and put it into like what a job would be. So that was like a very cool experience. And also just like fun being able to throw, like we literally made 75 ideas for like our client. And it was probably the most like stressful and annoying like 2 hours that we just sat there grinding on it. But it was like a lot of fun, a lot of crazy ideas were thrown at with the group. But that was definitely one of my highlights. I was also like at my cousin's wedding doing it. So like the morning of the wedding, I was just like sitting there like, okay guys, we got to get through this. Like I'm not okay right now. Like I got to go do things right now.
Yeah.
But it worked out really well. But that was 100% one of my favorite highlights, just being able to implement that work. It was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember you mentioned that like you had taken design thinking classes at school. So yeah, that is really cool to be able to implement that. 75 ideas is a lot. I'm impressed.
Yeah. It was like from my course, our whole project was around like this one problem we had, and like we had to create within the first week 100 ideas for homework in our group. And this was like as the class started, he was like, yeah, so come back next class in 2 days with 100 ideas. We were like, what? He's like, yeah, like it'll push you guys, like it's supposed to do that. And so I was telling the team, I was like, guys, like you're gonna hate this, but we're gonna do like 75 ideas. And they were like, are you kidding me? Like how are we gonna do that? And I was like, we'll figure it out, we'll get there, don't worry. And we did. And then luckily it really allowed us to get like top 3 ideas for Trade Depot. So it was really fun.
Yeah, that's honestly like a really good way to do it. Makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of ideas, a lot of crazy ones and just some generic ones, but all kind of comes together to make some good stuff. It was good.
Yeah.
So I guess building off on that, since there's a lot of tough work that we did have to do, a lot of grinding, a lot of exterior research and interviews. What do you think was one of the toughest or the hardest parts of the internship for you?
Yeah, I think just like the virtual nature of it in general. Like I was curious to see how that would play out. Because we had kind of like we gone virtual like for the second half semester, like when we got sent home, but like haven't done like a full like started program virtually and like met people virtually.
Yeah.
So I think it was definitely challenging in ways like day to day, just building your schedule. I think it was nice, especially the first week we had like 2 like clear time blocks for like our sessions.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess just making a way to like have a space at home, first of all, where I could actually be productive, even though like I'm doing this full internship. I have a lot of things to do, but like I'm also in my room, like distracted. So like kind of figuring out that work-life balance a little bit on your own. Also, I would say the time zone differences was a huge thing. Like all the teams, I think like everyone on my team was in a different time zone. We had 2 in Ghana, 1 on the West Coast. I was on Central Time, and then 1 Eastern Time. So just like really trying to accommodate everyone's schedules and planning like weekly meetings. And then with our client, I didn't realize that like before that South Africa is 2 hours ahead of Ghana. So it was just like so complicated, like especially as client manager, making all the like meetings and like the visioning exercise and everything. I was like so hard to like figure out like a time that works for everyone. So I would say that was interesting, but definitely like learned a lot of life skills from it. Like I don't know if like the virtual like nature of work is really going to go away anytime soon. So those are obviously very valuable skills. What else? The hard part, I would say, just like being virtual with the team and finding times that work for everyone. But yeah, it's just so different when you're like not in person. There's so many like little things you can pick up on, like body language, just being in the same room. That was like definitely a challenge over Zoom. But I think like with all the exercise that we did and meeting like every day was really valuable and like building that team still, even over like virtual terms. So yeah, I would say it was mostly like because it was virtual and just trying to find ways to adjust to that.
I 100%. That was, I think the whole time zone for us was definitely really tough, especially I think it was like the 3rd week or something, 3rd or 4th week of like the internship, like towards the end, I think it was like finalizing our proposals and kind of grinding those out and like making them really perfect for Devin and like Carmen's sake. And we'd like obviously with Eugenia and Raj, since they were in Ghana, they would end their days earlier, and then it'd be Jill, Jacob, and I kind of working through upwards towards the end of the night. And then sometimes it'd be like grinding till like 10 p.m. and realizing like, okay, like I should probably stop. Like that whole work-life balance is definitely tough too, of being like, I could keep working, like honestly, like why not? But also at the same time, I was like, I should take a break. It's getting late. Like I can do this later. And it was really tough, especially doing that work that late and then waking up the next morning to like Devin, since he'll be up earlier, and being like, all right, guys, you got to do this. And like, you just line out all this stuff and be like, okay, yeah, it's like 7 a.m. Like we're not really starting for 2 hours, but I should probably start this now. So I'd like roll out of bed, like slave to my computer and be like, okay, let's do this right now. Which was definitely tough, kind of realizing like over like that week, I was kind of like, okay, like I can get to this at like 9 a.m., not right when I wake up at like 7 a.m. Like I can kind of take time to enjoy my morning a little bit.
Definitely important.
Yeah, exactly. So it was tricky with that time change too, but it was all like a good building experience, especially since with like the future's definitely going to be through like online Zoom and everything, and this whole work from home is definitely not going to go away. I know with the internship I'll probably be doing in the spring, like is going to be through Zoom, and then also potentially might meet in person, but like it's a whole building thing to learn how to function and work through Zoom. I think it's like a really good building platform, just it helped us get ready for what, obviously that new normal is. There's a lot there.
Yeah, definitely. The new normal, that was like a huge part of the program, and I feel like they talked about that a lot, and like understanding like the implications of COVID and like talking about it in more of like a professional setting, which is something that we hadn't really done yet. That was pretty cool, like just to see like where we're headed, and I agreed with everything you said.
Yeah, definitely. So let's see what else we got. How would diiVe, how did it shape your current and or future endeavors?
Like kind of what I mentioned earlier, like all the purpose workshops and building your brand and like what am I good at and like what do I really like and enjoy. I think like those are all things I thought about before, but like never really made the time to like sit down for like 3 hours or however long they gave us to do it. But I honestly really appreciate it because just like honestly like writing it down too, I feel like makes such a difference. And like for me personally, I realized I'm really interested in marketing. Like I kind of just declared my minor for it back last year. but like I never really like thought about marketing roles yet, and I always thought like, oh, like definitely for me like after graduation. But still definitely interested in consulting. Like I really liked my experience with the internship, but also realizing that I'm interested in marketing and that's something that I want to explore. And I actually like talked about that, I think with Elspeth a lot too, like one-on-one, saying, yeah, I don't know if I should like work at this really big company and get the experience I need to move on, or if I should just kind of start somewhere that I think I'm interested in and see where it goes. And it was just like really nice having those conversations and talking it out loud with someone. And yeah, for me, I'm like still really interested in kind of combining those interests. And yeah, also just like with future like internships and things like that, I like never really looked into like boutique consulting firms before, but my mentor Nathan, actually, I think he works for one, and so he was the one that like first brought the idea up to me. Like I never really thought about it, and so now like that's something I've been doing and looking into, which like I'm really grateful to like have talked to someone about, because that seems like something I'd be really interested in.
Yeah, no, that's awesome to hear. It's definitely one of the best things that come out of this is that connections that can help you put you in the right spot and help you figure it all out.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Like I'll probably see some, like there was honestly like so much that came out of it that like I realized like a couple months after too, when I'm thinking about something career-wise, and I'm like, oh, like it applies to something I did this summer. So yeah, it's kind of ongoing, which is really cool.
Yeah, I completely agree. Ongoing, and especially like now that we're doing stuff like this and going to be kind of keeping our part with the dive community, helping recruit for the next few years when we're at school and everything. I definitely think dive really kind of helped me realize that I want to do consulting for sure, especially specifically like or innovation consulting is really what I want to do now. Anything like obviously with like design thinking, I've like fallen in love with that like since the summer, just being able to implement that and kind of do not like the generic consulting where you're in some big firm kind of doing day-to-day stuff, but kind of like big projects that are, you know, new ideas, kind of pushing and innovative, I think are really kind of cool places to go work at, where a lot going on, a lot of different diverse people with a lot of ideas. That was another key thing with dive too, was having people from all of the US and also all over Africa. I think was like super cool to get a lot of these new different perspectives and ideas that, you know, you might not normally get accustomed to. And the fact that we were even like working on those projects, and I can say I'm somewhat of like an expert on informal retail in South Africa now. Like I don't think I'd ever be able to talk about that before. So it's like a lot of future things that are constantly building, but definitely helped me realize that consulting is something that I want to do and kind of help companies kind of figure out how to solve their problems in the best manner. It's was really eye-opening, I think, for me. Yeah,
that's awesome that like you can really like with your role too and everything, and like innovation consulting, that sounds like something that sounds like it would fit you really well. So it's really cool.
Exactly. So I'm looking at that right now. It's going, as the job search always does, but I'll be figuring it out soon enough.
Yeah.
I guess kind of start finishing this up, some last things. Obviously, I've been kind of talking to students about it now. I've gotten some questions about it, but what would you say to someone who's considering applying for dive?
Yeah. Like same here with like trying to, like with the launch of like the new programs, which has been super exciting, starting to talk to people about it. And I would say like, it's a really great way to like, it's not your traditional like internship experience in some ways, but you get so much more from it, I would say. And like you said, like you're meeting people from so many different universities in other countries, which is super unique to dive, I think, which is a really great experience. And like what you mentioned before, like knowing so much about like South Africa and like another country is something that's really different and valuable in any sort of work experience. And I think a big thing about dive too is just the community. I think it's really cool how much the dive team has been trying to connect like our cohort with like their first cohort in Cape Town, and like doing bonding activities and just like having like that network of people like you didn't work with directly, but just being part of like dive in general. It's just a really great network, and people really care. Like I feel like I'm in contact a lot with like the dive team, and I'm just checking in. I think it's really great for like professional and personal development with having that community aspect. It's not just like an internship you do and then you like move on and forget about it. Like kind of ongoing, and like us promote like being ambassadors for it now. It's really cool to like stay connected with everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Like I find myself like talking to Devin once in a while, reaching out to Elspeth for just some casual advice or just checking in. It's like it's cool to have that whole aspect that one, like we're all like teammates and we're part of this internship, but also that we're also best friends now pretty much, and can always like reach out to each other for help or just kind of like life advice in general and just kind of check in. So it's, yeah, like the community is such an amazing aspect of diiVe that I really wasn't having to expect like coming into this. Wouldn't have thought I'd had these relationships coming out of this program. So it's been awesome doing that. But looking back, as I've like said to some of the students, like obviously like this isn't like a set firm where you're gonna get like a job afterwards specifically with diiVe, but like you'll be a part of this community and be helping out and kind of reaching out to build this community more to help students get these opportunities. And like what I was telling is like it's the experience that you'll get. Like this is once in a lifetime experience. I doing like real projects, learning about these crazy topics you probably wouldn't have gotten like normal options to get involved with. Working with real people and doing real time stuff, I think is like so invaluable and really just kind of makes diiVe what it is and like beefs it up so much. And like 100% I've said to everyone, like check out diiVe. Like if you want to do some sort of cool consulting, like get involved with amazing people, an amazing team, and then like keep that relationship professionally and personally going on for the rest of your life. Like 100% looking at diiVe, and it's going to be so worthwhile.
Yeah, I like what you said a lot. I feel like you summarized it pretty well. And yeah, I forgot to mention like definitely having like that really good hands-on experience. Like I think in college, like if you're not like specifically recruited for like a big consulting internship, it's more like you're probably just shadowing someone or like crunching the numbers, like you're not really doing so much. But I think diiVe is super unique in that like you actually like are the consultant, like you're on the scene like doing all the work that a consultant would do. So for people who are interested in consulting, which I feel like is a lot of college students, I think diiVe offers something really valuable with that.
Yeah, exactly. I think the clients are like can be so easily impressed by the work we do. I mean, even like I'm extremely proud of the work that we did in our team. Like Carmen at the end of it was like, yeah, if you guys were real consultants, like I'd totally hire you. And we were like, man, like, that's awesome. But like,
yeah,
like can you give me a job, please? Like that'd be sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome though.
Yeah, like it's the fact that like that can happen with diiVe is so awesome. But it's so worthwhile, and I've been reaching out to a lot of kids saying like, look into diiVe. It's 100% worth it, and you'll have a great time, great people, great work. So yeah, definitely. Well, I guess that sums it up pretty much. To our delightful 5 viewers here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody who's been here. It's been great talking with you, Christine. Lovely to see you again.
Yeah, same here.
And yeah, we'll keep in touch. I guess, people want to connect with us, find us. I think our Instagrams are tagged on this or something. So reach out to us through there if you guys have any questions or advice and interest, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. Well, all right, Christine, I'll talk to you later.
All right, I'll see ya.
See ya.
Bye.